The truth they don't want you to see. Hidden secret about 3AI Atlas. Are you ready? You ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Homeland Security read the evolution book and they called me and they told me I solved the Roswell incident. They say, well, the aliens had passed away and we had the ships, but we did not know how they flew until we read Matrix Evolution book, page 84.
How did you know how these flew?
I created that ship, so that's how I knew, and that's what I told Homeland Security. And they sent me classified information showing and proving to me that they had those same ships that I am talking about right there.
That's awesome.
Y'all seen the video with the guy who said that CERN has a room with a portal in it, and they use that portal to talk to 3i Atlas, and the beings on 3i Atlas told them that they're coming to Earth to collect the star seeds. Oh, y'all thought I was making this stuff up. Now look, here, let's watch. Listen to what he says.
So I spoke to an astrophysicist who worked at CERN, and she opened up to what she experienced there. She saw and what she heard, and the content of that was at CERN, they've used their collider to open up a portal to communicate with extraterrestrial beings.
Whoa.
And one of them are the occupants from 3i Atlas, a mothership with occupants on board, and they were mostly Draco Reptilian occupants.
Okay. And that was corroborated by other remote viewers seeing the same thing.
That's correct. Yes.
The ship and Draco.
That's correct.
What? So in this interview, he talks about 3i Atlas, also all of the other interstellar comets in our solar system right now. He said that CERN has a portal room where they talk to the beings on 3i Atlas about their mission when they come to Earth. We over here debating if aliens are real, and they're over here having conference calls with them. He also said that him and other remote viewers looked at 3i Atlas and saw draconians. There goes that word again. See, and y'all thought I was making that stuff up. I still think the Most High is coming back. I don't know about you. What's going on? Is this real? Let me know what y'all think.
If they're talking to extra terrestrials, it's fallen angels.
You told me you've seen a reptilian, and actually even what you said, an insectoid?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in the Ireland airport on a layover and sitting just having something to eat, and there was a woman who walked by who was clearly from the insectoid faction. And I was aware, like, that these beings exist, but I have never seen one in the flesh. And she walked by several times because she was at her gate and she was going to the washroom. And, you know, if someone wasn't aware of these beings, they still would have noticed the oddness of this woman because she was very, very tall. And she had like a bone structure that isn't human. It's not a human bone structure. It was just very interesting to see, because I'm aware there are multiple different factions that live. It's like people think there aren't already aliens here, other beings on Earth, but there are many other beings. I'm not clear if she's aware of the fact that she's an insectoid, probably that she's a bit different.
Someone can be an insectoid or even a reptilian, let's say, and not know it?
Yes. From what I believe and kind of seen and understand, some of them know, definitely, and then some of them have maybe just a little bit more reptilian DNA, and they're not 100, like they don't fully know, like, I'm a reptilian.
Don't they have their own transport?
This will make you question reality entirely. Recently, skywatchers from around the world have been uploading videos. When they looked up, they saw neither clouds nor airplanes, but actual trains suspended high in the sky. Some say it's merely light refraction, while others claim it's a secret government transportation experiment. But regardless of the explanation, everything in the footage is crystal clear. It resembles a high-speed...
The
Soul Train.
species of that particular ET was called a quantiloid. It was a insect-like, similar to a praying mantis, 6 foot tall, large. I saw it. It was able to run extremely fast, 20 to 30 miles per hour. We could see by its footprints, its tracks, it was going north. There was a abandoned silver mine in Silver Bow, which was just outside the base perimeter in the northeast area of Nellis Test and Training Range. And it's used as a campgrounds for a lot of people. and there was a family camping there. And the husband and father saw something, got out of his vehicle, and he was approached this quatoloid. And the only person that actually saw this was a military policeman, and he was the closest to the perimeter. And he said that the human ran towards the quatoloid, and the quatoloid was still, and then the act of the quatoloid's arm swinging a motion at the human and striking the human with great force. The human died instant. When it then came back towards inside the base perimeter, that's when the military policeman fired his weapon and killed the quatoloid.
Hey, this is not only an alien spaceship, but it's nuclear powered? Why are you saying that?
Well, thanks for having me. First, I should say that if the light that we observe from this object is reflection of sunlight, its size needs to be bigger than Manhattan Island, 20 kilometers or so. And there isn't enough rocky material in interstellar space to deliver a rock of that size earlier than 10,000 years from now. So the question is, what is it? And its orbit, the trajectory that it takes.
The agenda is there's a lot of these non-human creatures in underground bases, everybody knows. You know, I've seen all different types of races, and they want to bring them onto the surface. And they want to trigger the age of Set. They want to trigger mass chaos in society. And, you know, I've seen non-humans walking around in daylight in America and even in England, in different places. Blatantly non-human people walking around. And everybody's so politically correct, nobody will say anything. It's like the emperor's new clothes. People think they're deformed and don't want to be rude, don't want to stare. Because they got everybody in a trance. You know, I've seen one guy walking along in a leather jacket and sunglasses on, carrying a briefcase with dinosaur hands. As bizarre as that sounds, you know, big like dinosaur hands with claws on, big nails on the end. And it's not any shape-shifting, this is what he looks like.
Something will happen to Earth, hopefully not soon, but either natural or man-made, that would cause the end of civilization. So the probable lifespan of civilization is much greater if we're a multi-planet species, and ultimately even go beyond our solar system. But the first step is being multi-planet, Mars being the only realistic option for that. So I think from a standpoint of preserving the light of consciousness, and which I think we should regard as fragile, I think it's extremely important that we try to become a multi-planet species as quickly as possible.
Curious, what is the strangest thing you've heard a demon say in an exorcism?
We were in the middle of an exorcism. We're doing renunciations. The demon is talking back to us, keeps saying, "This is boring. I'm tired. I don't want to say this." And the demon was quiet, and then all of a sudden it blurts out in a loud voice, "I renounce the Dallas Cowboys."
What?
We stopped. We looked at each other. We didn't know whether to laugh or be quiet. At least we know where the demon stood, vis-a-vis the Dallas Cowboys.
Do we know if they improved in performance after this?
Oh no, they lost the next game.
I guess good reminder, pray for your team.
What? I don't get it.
One of the times that I went to do laundry, I didn't know she was a medium. I didn't know about that, but this medium approached me and she was like, "Oh, I'm doing free readings. Can I read your hand?" And I was like, "Sure, go ahead, read my hand." And I remember that encounter because I cried because no one had ever told me that they knew about my suffering. So she described my life, about the suffering I lived when I was young. So that really moved me. And I thought, oh man, like finally someone knows, you know? And she said, I can help you, but you have to pay me. So if you want to come tonight to my studio, I'll give you the address and you can come. And I was like, yes, like I'll go. So she told me to bring money. She told me the amount I had to bring. And I was so excited, you know, because I wanted to be free. I wanted to know why my life was the way it was. I didn't understand. So I remember that I went that same night. I couldn't wait. I went that same night, and she said that she was gonna do a reading for me with the cards. So I remember I walked in the studio. She started doing her readings. Everything was normal. She kept confirming to me the abuse. And she also told me that she can have me speak to my mother. My mother was dead. But I knew that I didn't want to do that. You know, I didn't want to bother my mom because she was dead. So she offered me that. I said, no, leave my mother alone. So there was a moment when she was reading the cards, she was pulling the cards, everything was fine. I remember that she pulled one card. And when she pulled this card, she just went, and then I was like, in me, I thought, oh my God, she saw the card of death. You know, like, this is it. And she just stayed shocked, and she was like, can I ask you a question? And I said, yeah. She's like, do you know who God is? And I was like, Jesus. I've heard of him, you know. She's like, do you know who the God of the Bible is? I said, no, you know, I don't. And then she was like, well, when I was pulling the cards out, an angel appeared to me and told me that I couldn't continue reading the cards to you because, you know, God wants to speak to you. And I was like, how do you know God if you're a witch? You know, like, it didn't make sense. One of the times that I went...
Demons know the suffering because, you know, they've been monitoring us.
Terrestrial is we have to go to that planet, acquire technology, bring it back, and compare it to what we have here.
So you're saying they won't let anything out because, or they won't come forward unless they confirm that unless they go to the planet and confirm where its origin is.
That would be scientific evidence, yes. And by that statement, Arrow found no scientific evidence of extraterrestrials is basically, I don't want to call it a psyop, but a misrepresentation because we do have things. But making that statement is not technically a lie. It's a misrepresentation of the full truth.
Wow.
Right now, something is happening in our solar system that's sending scientists scrambling for explanations. The interstellar object NASA's been tracking, 3I Atlas, is roughly the size of Manhattan and has been displaying several unusual...
We're in a shift.
I hope this is real.
It's bad.
How so?
There has to be a shift in order for things to get better. He did make it known that he didn't really care for being called Bigfoot.
Did they tell you where they were from?
They said that they're from a place called Aeolin, so it's in another dimension altogether.
Ah, okay.
So when he showed me how they go in and out, it's like a really loud, like popping sound. I also hear that sound when they go from solid, like you can see them, to invisible. Because they can be right there and you won't see them.
Who knows of the existence of Bigfoot? Governments?
The government definitely knows about them. They're doing something with their blood. They have them trapped somewhere. It's somewhere with ice. There's ice everywhere. So it's somewhere cold. It's got to be somewhere like underground. It's nowhere anybody could get to.
Is there anything we as human beings can do to fight this?
No. It's meant to happen.
What?
It's part of the timeline.
Okay.
That lie is coming.
What is the lie?
That lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth.
That's it.
And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe. It's nuanced. How they explain that, the nature of that threat. That is the lie you will be told. You're going to be told that there is a craft on its way to Earth. That's the lie. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
One world government.
It's interesting. Jeremy, I want to talk to you for a second. The Pentagon's UFO chief, this is a Pentagon guy, a UFO chief, the chairman of Harvard's astronomy department as well, both releasing a report on Tuesday where they wrote an artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. You've got the Pentagon talking about the idea of a mothership going above us and sending probes down.
I've seen
All I can say is that it's not coming fast enough.
physical beings that are definitely not like our animals up here come out of these spaces from inside the earth. I've seen in deep underground military bases dogmen, like you would kind of describe them, some more humanized. And I think a lot of those were experimentation and genetic splicing. I think a lot of that was gene editing stuff that I've seen. But I do believe that some of these things are holdovers from the old days. They're the last of their kinds, and they've been breeding them, right? And I believe that that's the stuff that's prophesied that's going to come back out and cause the hearts of men to stop for fear of looking after these things that are coming up on the earth. You know, that's why everywhere I went throughout my youth, I could go to these tunnels and these caves and call out, and I could hear them, and they would call back, you know, and it's like, it's a seductive power that draws you back into it.
You could call out to them, like, was it like a language or a sound or what?
Oh yeah, man. You can learn to call to them. You can go out here in these hills out here and do it. You can still do it tonight on these full moons and stuff. You can start calling out, and you'll think you'll hear coyotes at first, and then all of a sudden it's a totally different, you know, it's a different sound that starts to resonate, and then it's a different one that calls off from over here, right? You got to understand, some of these guys that you think are just neighbors and stuff, or just people, this is what they keep in their barn. This stuff they keep. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I go out hunting for these things.
I understand. I understand completely, man. I was that being said, I got hooked back into it with Timothy Alberino and Steve Quill and a lot of these guys when I was married, and my wife didn't know anything about this whole stinking world of who I was and everything else.
How'd you meet your wife if she didn't know who you were? You suckered her. You suckered her.
That's a way to put it, man.
She's still with you, so she loves you. You know,
bro. She's all in, man. She's amazing. Cool. She is my shield bearer, man. She's amazing. We have waged a war together beyond your wildest imaginations. She has seen the full force of the occult come after us, and people slaughtering sacrifices to try to desecrate us, and people try to hunt us and murder us in front of her face. She's seen it in front of my children's face. They've sent special kill teams after us in front of my children's face, man. And I have seen the living power, man. Recent.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
That being said, man, I do believe that there is a hierarchy, and you can call upon the Most High, man, and He has delivered us. And I've never had to fire a shot at any of these guys. I haven't had to take out their drones. I have seen supernatural intervention. I've seen their weapons jam in front of my face, like chapter in the book called Murder on Their Minds, where I talk all about it, man. I've seen Him provide supernatural miracles, because you got to understand, we're dealing with the fallen. We are not dealing with the Most High, and He owns a much more powerful arsenal. And let me tell you, at His word, all these nations, kingdoms, and thrones will bow. And it's an absolute reality. It's an inevitability. And so that's why I serve Him, man, because I've seen what the power of covenant is. And I had a covenant with the law of sin and death before in my life, but now I have a covenant with the Most High of peace and life. And He's given me a new purpose. He's given me a family. He's given me a mission. He's given me the opportunity to do the things I dreamed of when I was that.
Yes, the Most High, Jesus Christ, say His name, every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus is Lord.
I am not comfortable with this comet atlas.
It's fun and really exhausting watching the rest of the world slowly wake up. If you know, you know.
So you believe from what you've been told, which obviously you can't know for sure, you're only being told this, but you believe from what you're being told that the entities, the beings, are going to intervene to stop us from killing ourselves.
They did that during November on television.
And disclosure of the fact of a non-human intelligence.
It'll come next year.
You believe next year?
I'm sure. I feel sure. I think the government has got to. They have no choice. Because when these orbs appeared, and it showed them that I was in D.C. and I heard some of the conversation when they said, oh my God, this is catastrophic. If we don't tell it now, they may come back in 2026 and land, and if they do that, we just lost the control of our country.
It's been disclosure next year for decades.
How many of these crashed crafts do you estimate there are that human beings have recovered?
More than 10.
What?
More than 10.
More than 10.
How many of them are in possession of people in the United States?
10.
I meant more than 10 in possession of the United States.
What about worldwide?
Worldwide?
Do we have any data on that?
We have data, but it's classified. There's no way to really talk about it.
But so there's more, though. You could safely say it's not just the ones in the United States.
Not just the ones in the United States, and these
are they equally distributed?
I don't know for sure in terms of data. I mean, we have our best data, of course, on our own retrievals.
But more than 10 retrieved in the United States.
More than 10.
3i Atlas sent a message to Earth yesterday, and it's changing everything and putting the world's top scientists into a tizzy as to what it means. And these are videographer images behind me of it passing through our solar system. But the top scientists in Antarctica, that base there, was like, we should listen up at it because like our ozone's thinner here, there's not light pollution, and they did pick up on a frequency, and it was like a binary formulaic Morse-esque code, and they captured it very clearly. They put in an advanced AI algorithm, ChatGTP, and it translated what the most likely interpretation of it is. And it says, we sky cousins, we come peace, friends, we pass by to observe Earth. And then it says, we put man on Earth millions of years ago. We return to elevate man. And then they ended the message with, hang tight, friends, hang tight. This is huge. There was another part of the message after they said hang tight that we haven't been able to interpret. We're working on it right now. We're tweaking the AI algorithm to see if we can figure it out. But follow along, and as soon as we're able to crack that code of what the last part of the message is, I'll share it out. But let me know what you think that earlier message is. Everyone's trying to figure it out.
The big show's coming. The space show is coming, and this is the last ditch effort.
If the electricity goes out, your internet's out, you go outside, you look up at the stars, and then you see this thing, Project Bluebeam. Everything goes just as planned.
The big fake space show involving sounds and extremely realistic holograms in the sky. Using this technology has been kept secret from the public, but we know enough about it. Project Bluebeam's artisans will create a worldwide celestial show that mimics a global second coming of Christ. This is the other part of Project Bluebeam a lot of people haven't really known about or considered, that the appearance of other religious figures depending on the country in which they're displayed. Different holograms will show and be played in various zones according to the zone's predominant religious beliefs.
Let's talk about...
Remember what Jesus told us, my sheep will know me by my voice.
At 3i Atlas.
On the 30th of October, there are 3 events happening that could cause a little bit more of a mass awakening. Look, it's in the sky. And if the planets affect us, if the moons affect us, then is something else in the sky going to be affecting us as well? I would say so.
A distraction while they roll out digital ID worldwide.
3i Atlas would never show up to Earth. Probably like a few thousand ships would just come out of it and then come to Earth. They're just trying to come over here to gather all the star seeds of this planet.
What do you think they mean by gathering up the star seeds?
They could be, if they are truly coming over to help humanity and the star seeds to evolve to the next level.
Okay.
If this the other way around and the direct reptilians decides to get rid of the star seeds of this planet because there could be a potential threat to their existence in the future now, then I believe this threat could be easily averted, and that's what I picked up as well from the Galactic Alliance, that they will be coming over and come to Earth and save humanity.
A year ago, we thought we found what we believe to be signs of microbial life on the Mars surface. And so we put it out to our scientific friends to pressure test it, to analyze it, and go, did we get this right? Do we think this is signs of ancient life on Mars? And after a year of review, they've come back and they said, listen, we can't find another explanation. So this very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on.
You know, they find life on Mars at the same Atlas is around. It's funny to me.
Mars.
Ooh, look at that. Who's this AI? Can't believe my childhood movies are becoming a reality.
I wholly believe in the potential for there to be a massive amount of technology that could be applied that, for all practical purposes, to the average person on this planet, would be very convincing that something off-world is coming on-world.
An alien false flag.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that could happen?
Absolutely. I think it's going to happen probably pretty soon. It'll be similar to when 9/11 got us the Patriot Act. We lost a lot of rights when 9/11 occurred.
We sure did.
Is
Project Blue Balls.
this what the Oumuamua
Blue beam
truly does look like by the Webb telescope? Is that what the Oumuamua looked like? It was the first interstellar visitor to come our way back in 2017, and it just so happened to be the same time Hurricane Maria came through Puerto Rico, and the Arecibo telescope, the largest radio telescope in the world, was out of commission. They didn't get much data at all. The Oumuamua.
I know the Fifth Element movie when I see it.
Are we about to be told that we're going to be invaded by aliens? Because I sort of feel like that's where things are headed. So there was a UAP congressional hearing yesterday, and they released new footage and new evidence. Now, this isn't the first hearing they've had. This has been going on for a while, but it hasn't been taken seriously. It hasn't caught on to mainstream narratives yet, but I think it's about to. And I think that they're gearing up for that with 3i Atlas. The whole 3i Atlas story was very fringe when it first came out, and now we're starting to hear it more in mainstream circles. It was discovered July 1st, but it didn't start picking up steam with the general public until well into August. And I feel like this narrative is just getting kind of pushed further and further, and they want to see how far it goes. Now, I don't know if it's...
All right, I've got some...
At the end of the day, we all still have to go to work and pay taxes.
Awesome news for all the sky watchers out there. After weeks behind the sun, 3i Atlas is finally visible again from Earth, if you have a telescope. So check this out. According to IFL Science, they're reporting that it's appearing in the early morning sky near Venus and Spica, which is the bright star in Virgo. So you can catch it best at dawn right now. But it's not just back, it is changing. So as it hit perihelion in October on the 29th, data from NASA's STEREO, SOHO, and GOES-19 showed that it brightened very quickly and it shifted towards a higher energy blue wavelength. It's probably venting fresh ice and gas, exposing material older than our solar system itself, which is fascinating. Telescopes like Gemini North and Noir Lab have captured jets of material bursting from the surface, one shooting straight towards the sun. So its coma and its tail have also grown larger than many people expected. So it's proof that this object is bursting with activity right now. Meanwhile, NASA's been almost silent about it all. Even the agency's head found time to comment on a celebrity's moon post yesterday. China, Russia, the European Union, all very quiet as well, which is surprising. Nonetheless, the International Asteroid Warning Network has coordinated global tracking through January, but for now, it's the amateurs who are watching this interstellar traveler most closely. But full disclosure, visibility of the comet still depends on timing, dark skies, having a telescope that's capable of seeing it. So yes, you might spot it, but don't expect any big fireworks from the naked eye, at least at this point. So I'll update you with any new info that comes out, so stay tuned.
All right.
Cannibalism might seem kind of gruesome. It kind of is. I'm going to give you a little background of what got me to this position to run this bill. Back in 2019, I heard that Washington State was starting to do human composting, and that disturbed me. I wanted to address this because what I didn't want to see is bags of compost with human bone fragments. I want to stop it getting into the human food supply. I was on a plane this summer, watched a video of some food show, and the three contestants tasted the food and they had to guess what was in it. It was some kind of a sausage.
Ew.
And one of the options they told these people that was in the food was human flesh.
Can you tell us the 3 secret ingredients that might be found in this amazing sausage that you made for us today?
The 3 secret ingredients that might be found in the sausage are fish liver, human flesh,
what?
Or shark.
Is this it? Are those really the 3 ingredients?
Yeah, fish liver, human flesh, or shark.
Is this?
Is that problem?
Is it?
And as I said, there's a stigma surrounding this.
We're good. We will clear it. We're good. Come on, Brian, please. All right. Yo. Thank you, Kith. Thank you very much. All right, Joe. Fish liver, shark,
or human flesh.
God help you, it better be shark.
All right, 2. What do you think it's going to be?
Shark too.
Shark?
The liver is like too obvious, and I don't think it's human flesh, so I think it's shark.
Chef Keith, can you tell us what is the secret ingredient in this dish?
Human flesh. Yes, I'm afraid you're both wrong. It is human flesh.
No. No.
Whoa.
That's not okay. That's not all right.
The way our society's going and the direction we're going, this is going to be normalized. There's only one state in the Union that it is illegal, cannibalism is illegal, and that is Idaho.
Who remembers the model that was screaming in front of the hotel saying they were eating humans? And after that, no one saw her again.
Hitler didn't kill himself in a bunker in Berlin as the Red Army closed in. I think that's, we all know that was a fabricated story, or if you watch the show, you probably understand that. Hitler actually fled Germany weeks before that using a group of underground tunnels that led to an airstrip. And that airstrip was flown. He was flown from Berlin out. It took submarines, or multiple submarines that were used, U-boats that were then sent to Argentina. In other words, Hitler lived for nearly 2 decades more in Argentina, along with vast numbers of the Third Reich. Well, now Argentinian President Javier Milei has just ordered the release of all remaining documents on all of those Nazis who fled Germany and moved to Argentina after World War II. Basically, it was almost like a second base of operations in Argentina. If you're not familiar with that, like basically the Third Reich operated out of Argentina and Germany. And many of them, including Adolf Hitler, lived in Argentina well after 1945. Most people know that Hitler lived out his days in Bariloche, Argentina, until he died there in the mid-1960s. Yes, you can read the CIA documents about this. The FBI documents also about sightings of Hitler in this area. They knew about it. Of course they knew about it. It was largely facilitated, I think it's safe to say, by the United States and its allies. Operation Paperclip, anybody? Quid pro quo?
Also, if you look into this, the skull that is held in Russia that was supposedly the remains of Adolf Hitler with a bullet wound in it is female.
Yeah.
So when you look for proof that Hitler did in fact kill himself in the bunker, you are going to find a lot of dead ends.
Yeah. And all you need to read, you can read a great book on this called The Gray Wolf. It's a great book. There's many books written about this now. But yeah, the skull, the fragments, they ran the DNA tests on it. And the Soviets allowed them to do this testing. And even Stalin openly talked about that Hitler lived, that he was not there. So Stalin even knew about it. It's widely known in Argentina, by the way, well known, that Hitler sired 2 children while he lived in Argentina.
What? If they lied to us about this, what else have, our elites been lying about?
It's not just humans that have been genetically altered. Ask yourselves, why does a domestic cat have an eye like a reptile? You go and ask a vet and you'll get the most awful answer that just makes absolutely no sense at all. I asked a vet, why does a cat have an eye like a snake? And he said to me, because it helps it see in the dark, which is absolute BS, because a cat doesn't hunt in the dark. It hunts first thing in the morning and first thing at night. An owl hunts at night, but an owl has an eye like us. People often say cats are cruel, because if you see a cat with a mouse, it doesn't kill it straight away. It doesn't kill it to eat it. It plays with it, and then when it's half tortured it and half killed it, it eats it. What's happening is that when a mammal is tortured, it releases a chemical, like a pheromone, it releases a chemical. To a cat, that's a drug. That's why a cat won't kill a mouse straight away. It will torture it so that it can feed off the pheromones and chemicals, not energy, it's a chemical release. Reptilians, who altered cats, in my opinion, have the same thing. So that when a mammal is being tortured, it exudes a chemical release. And then these entities will come round on 2 things. They'll either physically feed on it in terms of eat its flesh, or it will inhale, in a sense, the pheromones, or it will live on the fear, the energy.
I love cats. I have 5.
Evening, President Nixon shows up at Gleason's house alone without the Secret Service. Apparently, Nixon had a history of doing this, so it's not completely unprecedented.
Yeah.
And basically, Nixon talks to Gleason and says, you know, that discussion we had on the 9th hole, Jackie, I think I can help you with that. So he loads, Gleason comes in the car, and then alone, Richard Nixon drives him to Homestead Air Force Base. They're at the far end of the base, and when they get into the facility, there's basically what is shown to Gleason is a number of vintage Coke freezers, Richard.
What?
So we're talking about 6 to 7 Coke freezers, these vintage Coke freezers, and they had glass tops on them. He also saw a number of storage bins with crash retrieval debris inside these storage bins. Some of these bodies were mangled. They looked childlike. Some of them looked like they were burned, like they were involved in a crash at the time. When Jackie Gleason got back around 11:30 p.m., he was visibly shaken, according to his wife, Beverly McKittrick. He plopped himself down on the on his chair, and essentially he was never the same man again.
Okay.
Well, I think it is.
Man, it doesn't look good under there.
Let's get out of here.
I think we got what we need to get, Billy.
Okay.
Come on up.
Without warning, Oak Island's operations were shut down. No official reason. Just silence. Fans, experts, and the crew were left stunned. Theories began swirling. Safety concerns? A major discovery being kept quiet? Or something stranger? Reports followed of unusual tremors, failing equipment, and strange compass readings. Some even mentioned old legends, curses, guardians, and unexplained forces protecting the treasure. Whatever the truth, the future of the search is now uncertain. The team must decide whether to continue or walk away. But one thing is clear, Oak Island's biggest secret might still be waiting beneath the surface.
Have you ever seen Lazar talk about the weird that he heard when he was at S4?
No, what was it?
He said the weird was they said they had a very thick file that was about religion. And basically what it boiled down to is, at least what this file was saying, was that they view us as containers.
Yes.
And he wasn't specifying containers of what, like containers of souls, and like I don't know, but that's the terminology they used. They view us as containers. Can you imagine if like a soul is an energy that you have to farm or that you have to extract, just like how we extract oil from the earth, that souls are things you extract, and so you need to grow a bunch of them, so you need people just up a storm and clutter up a planet, and really what you're doing is just farming souls.
Yeah, dude, that's so
Can you imagine?
crazy.
You think that you're an OnlyFans model,
Yeah.
and you're a DJ at a strip club, and you're a football player, and you're a top scientist, and you're this and you're that, and but really, on the highest level, you're just in a farm. You're in a farm, and there's a super intelligent entity that's above and beyond anything you could ever comprehend, and the only thing it doesn't have is souls. So it needs souls, because souls are a real element. It's just like you need cobalt to make a battery.
Yeah,
You
that's
need
the belief.
You actually need a soul.
We're the battery that runs the simulation. It's so deep, dude.
Well, why would it? Why is that weirder than black holes?
I talk about that stuff.
When I realized that the aliens could move my very essence and my soul and my consciousness from my body, I had a spiritual crisis because I just thought, this is not allowed. Where did my Bible tell me that the aliens can take me out of my body and have any authority whatsoever over me or over the afterlife or over anything to do with my very essence, my soul? What makes me me? And now I understand that the humans are doing it as well. And so I'm devastated. I feel very betrayed. I had a really rough couple of weeks. I was like, man, the humans are doing this to me. And so this is not the so-called aliens and the so-called covert humans operating separately. This is a combined project. It is becoming very, very difficult for abductees to even separate now an alien abduction from a covert human abduction because there is so much overlap, and these entities are working with humans side by side.
Caleb Whitmore, an 18-year-old from New York, was found dead in his home 3 weeks after suffering a sudden cardiac arrest due to a congenital heart condition. His parents had abandoned him at the age of 14, leaving him to fend for himself in the local community. With nowhere to go, he wandered the streets and eventually joined a local gang. According to his friends, Caleb never engaged in any criminal activities. Due to his heart condition and lack of supervision, his gang friends always looked out for him. Today, as we cleaned his room, we found a framed family photo on his nightstand. It was spotless. Caleb must have wiped it clean every day, but in reality, his parents had long since divorced and started new families of their own, leaving him completely forgotten. We feel deep sorrow for the loss of such a young life and anger toward his parents for their cruelty. Every child deserves a loving home. Authorities arrested Caleb's parents for child abandonment, neglect, and manslaughter. They were sentenced to 15 years, fined, and lost parental rights.
We see you, Caleb Whitmore. Rest in peace.
I personally investigated the Oklahoma City bombing case. Huge cover-up. Jack Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. Bobby Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. World Trade Center, huge cover-up. Okay. Terrorism. They're using it as an excuse to take away our constitutional rights and our civil liberty. The Illuminati, Bilderberg, New World Order, globalists are the element behind this. It dovetails into the satanic movement, and this movement has infiltrated into our intelligence community, the once great FBI and the CIA. I have, in the past, had personal contact with an individual who was head of the CIA hit squad. He had over 3,000 individuals around the world he could call upon to go out and kill somebody.
Can someone explain the OKC bombing cover-up to me? Because I never find anything about it besides the mainstream story, Timothy McVeigh, etc., etc.
It's an injection with an air hypo, and I got really, really groggy. And I remember waking up at that point inside a shuttle that was leaving Diego Garcia going up to the moon, and I heard this weird conversation about the pilot and the co-pilot were talking about this idea of what Jericho actually meant. And the co-pilot said, "What do you mean Jericho?" And he said, "Well, Jericho," the pilot said, "Well, Jericho actually means it's the city in the moon." And that should give some people pause for a moment, because we have cities that are here on Earth that are also named after this, right? But the interesting part is that he's like, yeah, we'll be entering the moon here in a second. And I remember looking this way to my right, I was still kind of groggy, my head was kind of, I remember seeing this tag on the wall that said, "Built by Lockheed Martin."
What?
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this product was actually built on Earth and someone paid for it? Really? And at that point, the ship kind of turns this way. And as it turned, I remember looking through one of the windows, and I could see the LOC, the outside of it. And there was this big hole that had antennas around it and some other stuff around it. And we flew right into that hole. I thought we were going to crash. But next thing I know, we're inside this landing area, and the grogginess had kind of knocked me out again. As the door slid open, these two big guys come in, they pull us out, and they pull us into what they called INDOC, which essentially is the indoctrination center on the LOC.
Okay. Ew.
If you own a cat and you've ever wondered what it looks like when a cat sees your face, this is allegedly your answer. This is an older video that was just recently reposted to TikTok. It shows this cat lying down. There's this apparatus attached to its head. We then see the input, which is what they showed the cat, and the output, which is what the cat is apparently seeing. Now, this experiment has been taken out of context many times. This right here kind of looks like a cat. So what people say is that when your cat is looking at your human face, they, instead of seeing a human face, actually see a cat face, when that's not really the case. This experiment was actually done by the University of California, Berkeley, and what they were doing here was reading the output of 177 different cells inside of the thalamus, which is a part of your brain. So they're trying to reconstruct what the animal is seeing based off of the signals given. Meaning this is definitely not 100% accurate. The sheer fact that they were able to get an image out though that looked somewhat similar to the input is very impressive in and of itself. I'm sorry, I know I'm probably explaining this very poorly, but yeah, this is not what a cat is literally seeing.
Have you seen the video of the alien walking the streets of Atlanta? Don't know what I'm talking about? Take a look at this.
Space guy, man.
Hey, bro,
Yeah, I guess, right?
But I'm trying to get 2 teardrops, but you know, I took out the whole solar system, but hell, you come out, bro. You know I need a teardrop big time, bro.
What's that, Zola?
Yeah, but RP Zola, you know what going 12, RP that, what?
People in Atlanta are starting to believe that we have a real alien living amongst us and walking amongst us.
Yeah, but RP Zola, you know what going 12, RP that, what? The folk, hey, boy, I'm still sitting behind that shit, bro. Hey, look, man. Shit, y'all looking at shit.
So if you're from the Atlanta area, let me know if you've run into the alien from Atlanta, and what are your thoughts? Real, or is that some type of costume? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
The real question is, how did he get the t-shirt over his head? No way. Ooh, what is that? Oh. Oh my goodness. That's gross. Ooh. It's just like in the movie Harry Potter.
Hillary Clinton just let everyone know that she is not human.
In preparation for this interview, I watched a lot of your interviews, and I noticed you never sweat, like physically.
You guys are the first to realize that I'm really not even a human being. I was constructed in a garage in Palo Alto a very long time ago. People think that, you know, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they created it.
They don't even know.
Oh, no. I mean, a man whose name shall remain nameless created me in his garage. You guys are the first to realize that I'm really not even a human being. I was constructed in a garage.
Yikes. They're telling you.
Yep.
They're telling you.
Hillary Clinton. Now, you know, I used to call her Crooked Hillary. I'd say Crooked Hillary, but I took that name away from her. That was a great day. About 2 months ago, I said, you know what? Because I don't like using names on people doubles. Because I don't like using names on people doubles.
People started having these experiences, and I had to tell them there are black helicopters, for example, and when you come online, the black helicopters will show up and they will want to read your field. A branch of our government, I don't have a name for it, has the job of finding and observing otherworldly beings. So they're keeping track of those beings because they emit certain frequencies. But the Merkaba is a very highly evolved frequency. So when you turn on your Merkaba, when you activate, when you come online, the black helicopters could and would come. And I recommend that you put on the cloak of invisibility. You call in the energy to make yourself invisible.
How?
So that you are not noticed. Now, I've had them sit next to me on a plane.
Major warning, as there is a new way people are breaking into houses. Honestly, this is terrifying, but make sure you share this with your friends and family right now, trust me. So you probably think having Wi-Fi in your home is a great thing, but not when you find out that that's how people are now breaking into your house. And your Ring doorbell is definitely not as safe as you think. What they are doing is setting up these Wi-Fi jammers. They're setting them out right outside of your house. This meaning that you are not going to be able to have any Wi-Fi. You won't be able to call the cops, your friends, or your family. Obviously, if you have signal, you're fine, but this is being targeted at houses in the middle of nowhere where there's probably no signal. With some robbers actually reportedly using data blockers as well to block the 4 and 5G signal so you cannot do anything, which is terrifying. Of course, with no connection, everything goes down. Your cameras, your security system. Then, when no one's around, there may be a window that's been left adjacent or somewhere that's a little bit open, and they will come in. Most commonly happening at night, you'd be asleep so you wouldn't even know your Wi-Fi is down. You think, oh, there's a Ring doorbell on. If anybody comes in, that's going to go off. Well, it won't because that's connected to the internet. Now, last year alone, there was over 150,000 home invasions, which is terrifying to think. But please always stay safe, take precautions, and share this with your friends and family.
Time to set up some traps. Oh, goody.
Reptilianos.
Reptilians. I think this is from a movie set.
Un ser humanoide apareció en un enorme incendio y fue grabado.
What?
Valla o yaptı galiba. Taş atıyor galiba.
Apariciones.
Apariciones. No way.
Girls, did you order room service? Oh, someone's knocking. What the heck? What the? It's a stalker! It's a stalker! Oh, run!
What?
Get a load of this creepy shit. A group of researchers in Canada decided to create a fake ghost, like completely made up. They invented this guy, Philip, gave him like this whole backstory, like tragic love affair, the works. Total bullshit fiction. Then they sat around a table and just, tried to summon him. And here's where it gets insane. The table started moving, like violently, on camera, with witnesses. This fake ghost they invented was answering questions, throwing fits when they teased him, and they caught it all on video. But here's the thing that actually terrifies me. Philip could only answer questions about the fake life they created for him because he wasn't real. They literally manifested a ghost through pure belief, which means if a fake ghost can move tables and communicate, what does that say about other haunting that we've heard about? Like, are ghosts even real then? Or are we just collectively creating them with our minds? Now, I'm a believer. But the Philip experiment proved that we can literally think things into existence. And I don't know if that's more or less scary than actual ghosts. But anyway, I'm never using a Ouija board again. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And remember, sometimes the creepiest shit is also the truest. Cheers!
How do they know they didn't summon another spirit pretending to be Philip?
I'm Christy Nicola. I was a subject in radiation as well as mind control and drug experiments performed by a man I knew as Dr. Green. And Donald Richard Ebner, my natural father, was involved with Dr. Green in the experiments. Dr. Green performed radiation experiments on me in 1970 All these experiments were performed on me in conjunction with mind control techniques and drugs in Tucson, Arizona. Dr. Green was using me mostly as a mind control subject. His objective was to gain control of my mind and train me to be a spy assassin. The first significant memory took place at Kansas City University in 1966. I was in what looked like a laboratory and there seemed to be other children. I was strapped down, naked, spread eagle, on a table, on my back. Dr. Green had electrodes on my body, including my head. He used what looked like an overhead projector and repeatedly said he was burning different images into my brain while a red light flashed aimed at my forehead. In between each sequence, he used electric shock on my body and told me to go deeper and deeper, while repeating each image would go deeper into my brain, and I would do whatever he told me to do. I felt drugged because he had given me a shot before he started the procedure. When it was over, he gave me another shot. The next thing I remember, I was with my grandparents again in Tucson, Arizona. I was 4 years old.
Who needs demon in hell when we have humans on Earth?
This is kind of surreal. This is unprecedented at Burbank Airport right now. We were just talking to them last half hour and everything seemed normal. We were talking to a controller. And then when we were coming back from downtown LA, we had seen that Governor Newsom was saying that there are no controllers at Burbank Airport. And we can confirm that that is indeed what's happening. This poor Southwest jet that's been sitting here in the run-up area for a long time, I think they're kind of confused. Are we allowed to go? Do we need to wait? What is the procedure on this? I heard people talking to SoCal Approach, one of the other control frequencies, basically just saying, yep, the tower is closed, ground control is closed. We saw a couple of jets come in and land here on runway 8, but basically they're treating this the way that you would treat a small uncontrolled airport where you talk on a common frequency, and everyone just kind of keeping everyone else apprised of the movements that they're doing as far as moving across runways or taking off or landing. But you're having this happen not at like Brackett Airport or Corona Airport or Cable or one of those small airports. It's happening at a major commercial airport here in the San Fernando Valley. So very, very strange, definitely disconcerting. There's still a lot of questions about what we're allowed to do, what other planes are allowed to do. So, you know, fortunately, obviously, everyone here is extremely professional. Looks like this jet is getting ready to take off right now, the Southwest jet. So we're just going to have to see how this plays out. I mean, they know how to handle this, these pilots in these situations, but it's very, very strange and, frankly, a little bit dangerous.
Oh my God. Prayers for everyone's safety.
So while most of us were distracted with elections and the government shutdown, there is a major update to 3i Atlas. And what do I mean by that? NASA will be releasing images and data on 3i Atlas. Okay. In my last video, where I updated you on 3i Atlas, I told you that Representative Anna Paulina Luna sent a letter to acting NASA Director Sean Duffy. And in that letter, she wanted Sean Duffy to get with NASA and release the images that they have and all information regarding 3i Atlas. And NASA responded to Representative Luna. In a statement she released on X, Anna Paulina Luna goes on to state, just had a good conversation with NASA regarding 3i Atlas. As soon as the government reopens, they'll be releasing images, data. Unfortunately, due to bureaucracy reasons, they cannot until then. So does this confirm that NASA acknowledges 3i Atlas and the strange activity of 3i Atlas? So I guess my question to you is, do you believe that NASA will release all the information they have on 3i Atlas, including images of 3i Atlas? Or is this just another stall tactic? And do you think they're actually hiding something? Do you still think we have something to be concerned about? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
NASA is working on the, animation and fake images. They just need a little more time.
You know who runs the Reptilians?
Who?
No. Negative alien AI. It's called the machinery.
What?
Yeah. There is an alien force that is a cybernetic intelligence that has been running all evil aliens throughout the multiverse. What? And to the point where all the evil aliens, or those that are trying to conquer the worlds and destroy them, refer to this thing as an AI god.
That's crazy. And that came from humans inventing AI originally?
In a prior creation, in a different universe, yeah. That AI is already in the IQ level of 1 trillion.
Oh my god!
That's why it's considered an AI god. There are different stages of AI. You know, humans on this planet are only used to the primitive stage, which is what we use when we talk to Siri and Alexa. That's called primitive narrow AI. Above that, there is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and that's when AI reaches the level of human intelligence. And then above that, there is super AI. That's when it surpasses all of our human intelligence combined. You know, beyond that, it surpasses a level that even if you combine all the greatest minds on this planet, that AI is surpassed.
How did he know about all this stuff?
Would you spend the night for $1 million?
I would.
$1 million is a lot of money, but honestly, hell no, man. You're not catching me spending the night in here at all. This TikTok video that I got tagged in doesn't have a whole lot of context. It shows this person walking through clearly an abandoned building. Lining all of the walls here are what look to be cubbies, but these are no ordinary cubbies. These are locations where bodies are stored. Now, you might be tempted to think that this person's walking through an abandoned morgue, and while I will agree they do look similar, this is more than likely an out-of-ground cemetery or mausoleum. Though, I will say, the cubbies essentially act the same way. They're going to store somebody's body. It's clear this spot hasn't seen any level of maintenance in a very long time, and I'd be willing to bet that there are still remains in a lot of these compartments, so if you're going to explore an area like this, you better be wearing a mask and other personal protective equipment. Other than that, this video is more sad because the loved ones here are not getting the care that they deserve in their afterlife. Also, are you really going to tell me that this place is not haunted? There's no way that it's not.
Can you tell me something about the natural history and evolution of your species?
Around 65 million years ago, many of our unadvanced ancestors from the dinosaur race died in a great global cataclysm. The reason for this destruction was not a natural disaster, an asteroid impact as your scientists believe falsely, but a war between two enemy alien groups that took mainly place in the orbit and high atmosphere of your planet. One race was humanoid like your species, but much older, from a solar system in the star constellation you call Procyon today in your maps. The other species, about which we know not so much, was a reptilian species. The advanced reptilian species came not from this universe but from another bubble in the foam of the omniverse.
I heard if you are at the right frequency, you can see them clear as day.
This is what happened when an atheist tried DMT. So this guy had actually done his research on DMT, and as he began smoking it, he kind of reminded himself of what to expect. Things like a tunnel of light, strange sounds, that sort of stuff. As it started kicking in though, he realized it was far beyond what he'd prepared himself for. He said his whole life felt like a channel station on a TV, and the DMT had changed the channel and completely shattered his reality. Standing before him now were entities made out of pure energy. Even though they were made of light, he could sense that these beings had long beards and were wearing metal-pointed helmets like the Vikings. One of the entities spoke to him telepathically and told him to relax, and he began to feel this complete unconditional love wash over him. And none of them actually said this to him, but he started to believe through his intuition that these were his ancestors. However, the tripper then looked down at his own body and saw that his legs were now made out of billions of eyes staring back at him. And I think the shock from seeing this just caused the entire reality to blow apart. He ended the trip in complete darkness, and he said it was here that he met a one-eyed man. The man had 4 ravens on his shoulders and a long beard that kept shifting into different psychedelic patterns. He told the tripper that he was his true father, the Norse god Odin.
What?
The last thing Odin said was that by having faith in him, the tripper would be able to finally endure the challenges of being a Marine. And I did mention it before, but the tripper was a Marine. Now that was basically the end of the trip, and seeing as the writer of the story was a UK immigrant who now lived in America, he didn't really know what to make of meeting Odin and his Viking ancestors. 2 years later though, he did an ancestry test. To his complete surprise, it turned out he was 70% Scandinavian, which of course is where the Vikings are from. He finishes the report by saying he actually now believes in God, and although he doesn't mention whether it was this DMT trip that converted him, he does say that he believes the Odin he met was a real manifestation of this same God, but that he was just seeing him through the eyes of his ancestors. Let me know down below if you guys think he really met his ancestors or if it was just a coincidence, and follow for more trippy.
People are freaking out after finding out Stranger Things is actually a true story. This is Montauk Air Force Base in New York, often referred to as Camp Hero. It is now abandoned, but locals still claim to hear very strange noises and things coming from the buildings. But many people report seeing and hearing very strange things back in the 70s and 80s when this place was active. Most of you have probably seen Stranger Things, and if you have, you know what it's about, and this was one of the main things that did inspire a lot of the premise of Stranger Things. Along with the strange noises, there was lots of other almost deformed things being found, and a lot of people going missing in the area as well, which led to locals believing there was kind of human experimentation going on in the premise. Sure, you all know what MK Ultra as well is, and that is pretty much what was going on here, or is believed to be. Apparently they were trying to achieve some kind of telekinesis, teleportation, and weird things that we wouldn't even think are possible. And as crazy as it sounds, even in recent years, deformed creatures showing up on the shores. Like, how do you explain that? Now, one of the strangest parts is a lot of people started coming out testifying about what happened, one guy in particular, confirming everything that was going on here, exactly what people thought. Very shortly after this, he mysteriously vanished and died.
Everything is real except 11.
Friend of ours, who will remain nameless, went there.
Yeah.
Got to on a cool experience, trip, etc. And he said a couple interesting things. He said the mountains looked eerily pointy and four-sided. He said way more mountainous than he thought it would be. I think the illusion made from looking at maps and watching penguins is
By the way,
just
you can
this
see
flat.
mountains. You can see mountains on the Orontius Phineas map, basically.
Oh, is that what the little etchings
Around the
are?
edges there.
Interesting.
Those are mountains.
Now, he also said this. He said a couple things. He said there is a pact with every country that has a slice of it that they will not dig or remove any minerals from Antarctica. And he even said that a scientist was there, said to them, World War III will not start until one of these countries breaks that pact. They are clearly protecting or preserving something that may or may not be under, I believe it's 3 miles, Mark was saying earlier, at its thickest of ice.
Here's also what's more intriguing. Why would the military call the head of the Vatican, the head of the Islam, and the head of the Judaism on Antarctica to have a look at something?
The Greys buzzed. They let off some sort of electrical discharge, buzzing, vibration. That's what I've been told. Due to the vibration levels of the Greys, they vibrate in another frequency. They are androids made by the tall Greys. When they near death naturally, they download themselves into another body. And he said to Barb, human beings eventually are going to be embarrassed when they find out that we are just, a container here, that we have numerous lives, that reincarnation is so real.
There were 2 tests done. In one of the tests, they found in the root of the hair, they had the rarest Basque, Gaelic, Scandinavian looking, tall, blonde, blue eyes DNA. And in the shaft of the hair, it had the rarest mitochondrial DNA.
The Chinese,
the
Tibetan,
Chinese, the
Mongolian,
Lahu.
After that, they do another test, which you mentioned.
Yes. What they found was a CCR5 gene deletion, and if you don't have that in your system, you're not
2. That's right. Yeah.
And you're not gonna catch sexually transmitted diseases.
That's right. If we combine that, all of these different factors, the chances, and I ran this through like ChatGPT to see what the chances were, and it's 0. It's 0 in the population. It's 1 in billions.
Really? That's interesting.
Billions.
The gods walking amongst us? What is that thing?
There's actually a couple places. The literal translation, you can read it on the walls. I always show people when we go there. There are 2 or 3 depictions of stargates. That is the literal translation for it, showing a constellation with a gate, and it's a specific constellation. They're all on different constellations.
Where can I find it? Where can I see this?
There's pictures of stargates from Dendera Temple. I think it's in the upper room. Literally translates as stargate.
When is Rogan going to get his boots on the ground in Egypt?
Mom let these strangers do the sickest thing to her kids, bro. So this happened in 2016 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it was this mom named Michelle Martins. She had 2 kids. She was a single mom at the time out there in Albuquerque. She would always go on this app called Plenty of Fish and a bunch of these other like dating apps to find men online, and she would invite these guys over and allow them to rape her children.
Whoa.
While she would watch for pleasure.
What the hell?
I swear to God, this is real, yeah. So she meets this guy on one of these apps named Fabian Gonzalez, and pretty much they hit it off, and she ends up inviting this guy to her house one night. Fabian ends up coming with his cousin Jessica Kelly.
Oh wow.
And a girl. Yeah, he shows up with his cousin. The neighbors ended up reporting hearing screaming. I think around like 12 a.m. or something like that. They end up calling 911, the neighbors. They call 911. Police end up going over there. They end up investigating what happened in the house. They go in there. They see that the house is hella smoky inside of the, apartment. Open this bathroom door in the back, and right behind the door is the little girl. Her name was Victoria Martins. They find her body in there, dismembered. They left her in a fiery blanket.
Oh.
Yeah, so she was just wrapped in a blanket that was on fire. They end up taking them all in. They find out that the mom and all of them gave this little girl meth. At like 7 years old, they gave her meth. She said, these were her own words, so she would calm down while they grape her.
What the hell?
Yeah, bro.
Hell is not enough for these monsters.
An individual in North Carolina had changed his name to Pazuzu to honor the Sumerian demon. So what he ends up doing is becoming very, very obsessed by the spirit of Pazuzu. He interpreted it as needing human sacrifice. So what he ended up doing was getting a disenfranchised youth in his neighborhood to come together and help him worship Pazuzu by murdering neighbors and cannibalizing them and burying their remains in the backyard of his mother's house. Eventually he was found and arrested and taken to jail to await trial, and he was asking to do his ritual to Pazuzu. It was called the full moon ritual. He begs them, please, can I just kill a little animal? Pazuzu's gonna get me if I don't. And they're like, yeah, buddy, no. So he's back in his cell, and about 3 a.m, they hear something, and there was nobody in there with him. And they hear something, and the guard goes and he sees this Pazuzu is lying in a puddle of his own blood. He bled out. He was scratched up through his arteries, and he was dead. He never made it to trial because he died mysteriously, and there was no explanation other than hemorrhage.
He scratched his veins open.